Welcome to our 25th episode of A Slice of Heaven, Cooking with Ruth, and I have my trusty helper and husband, Gary, helping me today. And we're also sporting our Badger apparel because we're rooting on the Badgers. They won their Sweet 16 game, and they're going to be moving on to the Elite Eight, so we hope that they can continue there and maybe even move into the Final Four.
And we'll see. By the time you watch this, we don't know if they'll have gotten to the Final Four or even won the national championship, but we'll carry on and just make our breakfast bake for today.
Yeah. So to highlight our year of our cooking show, our videographer Brianna is actually going to be having a cooking marathon of our shows. So before you see this 25th show, hopefully you will have watched all of our previous 24 episodes. It's been a really fun year. And I don't think I ever thought that we'd be doing a cooking show in Marshfield. So it's been fun, and the reaction from a lot of people that we see that we don't know, that they recognize us as having the cooking show, has been a lot of fun this year. So we're going to continue doing this for as long as we can, and hopefully people will continue to watch and give us good feedback. So now, one of your favorite things that you like to make is our egg bake.
Absolutely.
This is
it's a fun thing to make, and it's delicious, and like I said, and it's easy to make too. So we're going to get started here.
Okay, so it's an overnight egg bake. So you make it the day before, in the afternoon, in the evening, and then you get up the next morning and you can pop it in the oven or sometime during the day. Our kids are coming home this weekend. We have a lot of celebrating because it's also my birthday on Monday, the 31st of March. So we're going to have an egg bake for our kids to have tomorrow when they get up for breakfast. So I'm going to let you start cutting up the sausage. This is going to be a sausage and black olive egg bake. So Gary's going to cut up the sausage, and I'm going to cut up some black olives. And we feel like it has all of the various food items kind of, in this egg bake, because food groups, because we have bread, we have the protein in the sausage. And then we're doing black olives. It's just a really easy egg bake to make. We have butter and cornflakes, milk and eggs. We do these egg bakes for a lot of different events that we cater, breakfasts or even a brunch. And we can do sausage, just plain sausage, sausage and black olive. We've done sausage with broccoli. We've done just plain broccoli, black olives and mushrooms. So you can really do whatever you want. You can add some red peppers in there if you wish as well.
And if you're going to do a veggie one with broccoli, one suggestion, you can do it either way, but I like to put the broccoli in just microwave it in a container that you would typically blanch it, if you want to call it that, for like 1 minute with a little bit of water. Steam it, basically. Steam it for about a minute just to soften it up a little bit, and it's a lot easier and a lot more palatable, if you will, when it comes time to enjoy it. So.
Okay, so we're going to start. It's just a layering process, basically. So you can butter a 9 by 13 inch pan, and this can be this is my longer burger pottery that I use for a lot of our egg bakes. Sometimes if we're doing an event and people don't want to bother with us bringing having to pick up anything, we'll just use a 9 by 13 inch foil pan. So whatever you'd like, a cake pan, whatever you'd like is fine. So I'm going to let you put the first layer, and that's our seasoned croutons. I'll go wash my hands. And you can really use whatever kind of croutons that you'd like. These are the Olive Garden croutons, but you can just get them, out of the small, like 1 pound packages that you buy. Whatever you want is fine.
And you want to put enough in just to cover to the bottom is all you need to do. And as far as the sausage, we didn't talk about that yet. You can use, if you want to go to the effort of buying the uncooked sausage, you can do that, buy that at the grocery store. My favorite is just to use the already pre-cooked sausage. The brown and serve is our favorite. It's got the right amount of spice in it, and it's very easy to warm it up and slice it up just like you saw me do there a minute ago.
And our next layer then is going to be the sausage. I've made different egg bakes or souffles that have called for slices of bread, but I find the seasoning on this is nice because you've already got your seasoned bread by using the croutons, so we don't have to worry about extra seasoning, and it's a lot easier than slicing up the bread and so forth. Then we're going to do our next layer is black olives and put on as many as you would like. I think all of our kids like black olives, don't they?
Hope so. We're going to have fun picking them out. Okay.
So we're going to do this, and then it calls for, get this out of the way.
Get that out of the way, now we have to start.
Okay, it calls for 10 eggs.
10 eggs, so as the saying goes, get cracking. So here we go.
And 3 cups of milk. So while Gary is cracking the eggs, the next 2 layers are going to be shredded cheddar cheese, excuse me, and shredded mozzarella cheese. And we used to always buy blocks of cheese that we would shred, but I guess I got kind of lazy, and now we generally just buy the pre-shredded. And I guess really when we try to get the most for our dollar, it's probably about the same, isn't it?
I think it is.
You're buying it.
If you watch for sales, you know, around Marshfield or different grocery stores, they'll have sales. You can usually buy a 2-cup bag of shredded cheese for $1.50 to $1.75 a bag, so it's really not a bad price.
We always watch for sales, so. And it calls for two layers. So basically an 8-ounce package, or 2 cups is what is going to cover your pan. So we started with the mozzarella, and now we're going to put cheddar. And you can also use whatever kind of cheese, really. This is mild cheddar, but you can use aged or sharp, you know, whatever
if you want to give it a little extra flavor, a little more zip to it, you can put in Parmesan cheese, shredded Parmesan. That's very delicious. A little more expensive if you want to put a little more money into it. Parmesan is always a favorite, I think, of most people. Okay, the next thing you're going to do here is we're going to pour in the 3 cups of milk in with the 10 eggs, and just beat them. Beat them so they're nice and fluffy. Now I've done it 2 ways. You can either use a beater, and if you don't have a beater, a whisk works just fine too. You can do it either way.
So he's just going to pour this over this mixture. So just pour it evenly over the mixture. And because, as we said, the croutons are seasoned, you really don't have to add any extra seasoning. If you wanted to add a little bit of extra black pepper, you know, you could. But otherwise, it's seasoned. It should be fine.
A little trick that I learned making these numerous times was, in the recipe, it actually calls for putting the seasoning, salt and pepper, into the egg mixture, but it doesn't work very well, because if you pour it in there and you beat it up, all the salt and the pepper goes to the bottom, so then when you're pouring it out, it all comes out in one big glob at the end. So if you do want to put extra seasoning on, just go ahead and pour the mixture into your casserole and then shake it on later. Works fine.
Okay, the next layer is going to be cornflakes. And it says, I think the recipe calls for about 1 cup of cornflakes, but you can do about 1.5 cups. It's really just covering it,
Yep.
so whatever looks good.
And you can crush them if you want, or put them on whole right out of the box. I don't want to pulverize them, so I just give it a little bit of a crush, but not too much. Just so you have all the cheese covered.
I think that's good.
One more here.
I have one stick of butter melted, and then you just pour the butter on top evenly. And I like to melt it in, you know, a measuring cup that you can pour evenly out of, and that makes it a little bit easier. Or just a bowl, it doesn't matter. And that's our egg bake. And we're just going to stick it in the refrigerator overnight. And tomorrow morning we'll get up, before the kids get up, and we'll put it on 350 degrees, preheat your oven, 350 degrees, and then bake it uncovered for about 45 minutes to an hour. After it starts bubbling, then it's done. You can check it on the inside, and then take it out and let it, you know, set up for maybe 15 minutes.
Right.
And
yeah, if you're really hungry, you want to go at it right away. It gets a little soft and a little mushy, but you can scoop it out with a spoon if you're really ready to go and you don't want to wait. But it's better to let it set 15-20 minutes, just so it sets up, and then you can cut it with a knife, or you can still spoon it out if you'd rather do it that way.
And then we typically cut a 9 by 13 pan into about 15 pieces. So it's a nice, easy recipe. So now we're almost all set for breakfast tomorrow. We just need some fruit and maybe some banana bread, and we'll be good to go.
A hot cup of coffee.
And we're all set to go.
Right.
So from A Slice of Heaven, I hope you enjoyed this episode, our 25th episode, and happy cooking.